won't ever find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Adamsmasher, and today I'm bringing you a brand new theory. But before I begin, I gotta do a quick
spoiler alert.
Yep, I'm gonna be covering a few spoilers in this. Also, I'm completely unscripted, so get used to hearing the word So, I'm just assuming that because you clicked on this video, you've seen The Force Awakens. So, number 1, Kylo is Han's son. Number 2, Han dies. And number 3, Rey is a Jedi. And number 4, Poe is Chewbacca's son. But anyway, Star Wars The Force Awakens was a great movie. Whatever you say, I don't really care. I thought it was great. I think JJ did an amazing job on this movie. But with that said, there are a few questions left completely unanswered in this movie. Like, for instance, who is Maz Kanata? Who is Supreme Leader Snoke? And the most important question of all, Daisy Ridley, can I get those digits, girl? Hashtag Rey is bae. But the second most important question is, who are Rey's parents? And today, we're gonna find out who they are. I do, however, want to state for the record that I don't believe it's any character from the Star Wars, Rebels, or Clone Wars that aren't actually in the movies. I know that they're technically considered canon, but I don't think they're going to play a part in any way. There's also some theories that she's related to Qui-Gon, but there's like zero evidence of this, so... So what do we know about Rey and her parents? Mostly what we know about them is from Rey's lightsaber vision thing. In that vision, there's a lot of clues that are very vague of who her parents might have been. You can see in the vision that she was very young when she was left on the planet. We know that she was left on the planet because she was a Jedi and had the powers of the Force. One of her parents must have been a Jedi, or a Sith. We also know that she has a mother and a father from early concept art for the ship you see taking off. So, because we know that her parents must have been Jedis or Siths, it doesn't really leave us a lot of people. So it's safe to assume her parents must have been of the original cast. And it's also pretty safe to assume that her parents probably were an alien species. So let's find out who the internet suspects Rey's parents are. Yeah, seriously. Can't you see the resemblance? Stupid, right? Well, actually there is some evidence to support this. For one is how she uses the lightsaber when she first gets it. She tends to do a lot of stabby motions. It's very similar to how the Emperor is shown using the lightsaber in the original trilogy. Jedis tend not to use those types of strikes. But I know fighting style can't be genetic. If that was the case, then Finn would be related to Luke Skywalker. See, he swings his lightsaber around just like Luke. Okay, well how about the fact that Rey's name translates in Spanish to king? It wouldn't be that crazy to assume that the Emperor would have heirs to his throne. And while on the subject, Siths do not follow the Jedi Code. So, could they have children? And if not actually Palpatine's child, then perhaps a family member of his, who may also have the Force. It would make sense why they would want to hide Rey from Palpatine on a desert planet. It would make sense because apparently desert planets are impossible for the Empire to check. Not to mention Rey's Force strength becomes stronger when she becomes enraged with Kylo Ren after stabbing her friend. Perhaps she's strong with the dark side. It would be an interesting plot twist to have somebody who comes from the dark side turn to the light, and someone who was taught in the light turn to the dark. But for now, it seems that Rey has actually chosen the path of the Jedi, so guess we won't know till the next movie. Well, actually we might, because there's a bit of a hidden message on the poster of The Force Awakens. As you can see, Rey is on the bad guy's side of this poster, so yeah. But obviously there are some very large plot holes in this theory. For one, the Emperor died 30 years before Rey was even a thing. And before that man was probably like 80 years old. So, if it's any relation to Palpatine, it would be, like I said before, some descendant of his. But Maz Kanata did say,
"Whomever you're waiting for on Jakku, they're never coming back."
but that also rules out the Emperor, because there's been rumors that he might be coming back as a ghost. But like I said, just rumors, and this is actually the lowest possibility on the list.
Liar!
I wish. Yes, the internet seems to believe that Rey isn't a daughter of Vader. She's a clone of him. Yeah. Now, I'll admit, I wasn't that big on the expanded universe of Star Wars, and most of that's not canon now anyway, so it's really confusing what is and what isn't at this point. So I'm not sure if in this universe clones can carry on the Force, but yeah. But that didn't stop the internet from figuring it out, and they have come to the conclusion that Rey is the reincarnation of Vader. Their proof comes from this screenshot taken from the movie, which appears to show Vader's shadow behind Rey, similarly to how it was in the Phantom Menace promotion poster. But I've watched The Force Awakens 4 times since I bought it, and when this scene comes up, I'm just assuming somebody must have photoshopped this, because I don't ever remember seeing it. Another piece of evidence is that Rey is a great pilot for being someone who's never flown before, and many people compare this to Anakin. But like what I said with the lightsaber fighting stance, it's not genetic. If that was the case, and Poe would be related to Anakin. And Rey kinda looks like Anakin's mother a little bit. Not really, though. And the final piece of evidence is something that was actually taken out of the Force Awakens movie. During Rey's vision when she touches the lightsaber, the scene where she's in the hallway where Luke and Vader fought, she was supposed to see a little boy. Many people have figured this must have been Kylo Ren, but the internet seems to believe it's Anakin. Since there's no screenshots of the boy, it's just speculative, as I said. But it was, however, said that it was taken out because it gave everything away. So, what do I think about this one? Well, even though Star Wars is inspired by religions around the world, reincarnation doesn't exist in this canon of Star Wars. However, apparently Force ghosts can become strong enough and possess Jedis, so... It also can't be reincarnation because Anakin appears as a ghost at the end of the Return of the Jedi. And Hayden Christensen and nerds around the world have expressed their hatred for him coming back to the series. So go eat a flaming pile of dog shit. And of course, the internet's most favorite. Yeah, this one's completely not true.
Han Solo can't save you.
I mean, seriously, Han Solo is a terrible, terrible father, but you didn't recognize your daughter in front of you? I mean, seriously, if this was true, that would make Han Solo a very unlikable character. And we do not want our Han Solos to be unlikable, so this can't be true. However, they do have a few points to this theory, so I'll go over them. For one, it does seem very convenient that the Millennium Falcon just so happens to be on that planet. I mean, Han says he lost it, but this is the Millennium Falcon. You would have tried a lot harder to find it. Leia also seems to have a very strong unspoken bond, but she still doesn't recognize Rey. And when Rey was taken, she wasn't even seen as a priority. If Leia knew she had a daughter, she probably would have helped. But being related to Han Solo would also mean that she would be the sister of Kylo Ren. The internet seems to believe that this explains why he has so much pent up rage, because he was jealous of his sister being stronger in the Force.
No.
But unfortunately, this one can't be true, since after all, everyone's main complaint about the original trilogy was the weird incesty parts. I doubt they'd want to go that way again.
He's my brother.
I'm not giving you anything.
We'll see.
Yeah, God, I really hope this one isn't true. Sorry guys, not true. It just doesn't make sense. I really have tried to make this make sense.
I bet you have.
JJ, what happened to Darth Vader's grandchildren?
Oh, George. This is great. You tell me, man. You made all this shit up.
George Lucas has gone on record saying that Star Wars is about the Skywalker family. And if you've seen The Force Awakens, you'll know that there wasn't a Skywalker as the lead character in this movie. Or was there? People suspect that Rey is Luke's daughter. There's actually a lot of proof for this. For instance,
the Force is strong in my family. My father has it. I have it. My sister has it. You have that power too.
so, is Luke talking about Rey or Kylo here? Many people suspect it must be Rey. Also, Rey just so happens to have a rebel helmet in her house. Her journey parallels Luke's in many ways. Not to mention that Rey's vision upon touching his lightsaber pretty much gives it away. Many people suspect that Luke took his daughter away after he failed to teach Kylo Ren. People also suspect that he may have wiped her memory somehow using the Force so that she would not remember. Some even suspect that she was a fully realized Jedi when she had her memory wiped, which is why she's so powerful with the Force. But she was a child, so probably not. But this would explain why Kylo Ren was unable to enter her mind. Also, Rey is a skilled pilot, just like Luke. So, is there anything that makes this theory untrue? Well, besides being too obvious. Well, apparently there have been rumors that Luke may be, for the same team. But Daisy Ridley did say in an interview that solitude is a huge clue to who she is. So this could mean she's Luke's daughter, or this next person's.
Ben Kenobi?
Yes, Ben Kenobi. This theory is the one I think it might actually be, for many reasons. Like, for instance, I honestly can't understand why there would need to be an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, unless there was something else he did besides sit in a desert hut for 20 years. Obi-Wan was also very powerful with Jedi mind tricks. And what's the first thing that Rey learns?
You will remove these restraints and leave this cell with the door open.
I will remove these restraints and leave the cell with the door open.
And you'll drop your weapon?
And I'll drop my weapon.
Rey may have even used a mind trick on the Rathtar to keep it from eating Finn. Obi-Wan throughout the series has also been shown to be stronger with mind tricks.
You want to buy some death sticks?
You don't want to sell me death sticks.
I don't want to sell you death sticks.
You want to go home and rethink your life.
I want to go home and rethink my life.
Let me see your identification.
You don't need to see his identification.
We don't need to see his identification.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
He can go about his business.
You can go about your business.
Move along.
Move along. Move along.
And how did Rey pick up an English accent on a desert planet with a bunch of aliens, none of which even have English accents? And to disprove the Luke Skywalker theory, Obi-Wan had the lightsaber longer than any of them, which is why it would make sense for why I was calling for Rey.
Your father wanted you to have this when you were old enough, but your uncle wouldn't allow it. He feared you might follow old Obi-Wan on some damn fool idealistic crusade like your father did.
Sir, if you'll not be needing me, I'll close down for a while.
Sure, go ahead. What is it?
Your father's lightsaber. This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight. Not as clumsy or random as a blaster. An elegant weapon for a more civilized age.
The box Maz kept the lightsaber in is also very similar to the box Obi-Wan had the lightsaber in for 30 years. You can also hear Obi-Wan calling out for Rey in her vision. Perhaps it's implying that he's a ghost watching over her. And this line has always confused me.
That boy is our last hope.
No. There is another.
You assume they're talking about Leia, but she never became a Jedi afterwards. Maybe Yoda could sense that perhaps a child of Obi-Wan possessed the Force. But I know what you're thinking. Obi-Wan is a Jedi, and he follows the Jedi code, right? Well, for one, the original trilogy never states that Jedis couldn't have kids. That was just made up for the prequels. Besides, Obi-Wan's known to do a few things most Jedis wouldn't.
Where are you going, Master? For a drink?
Perhaps he wanted a child in order to carry on the Jedi way, if Leia or Luke did not possess the Force when they got older.
I will do what I must.
That's good. You've taken your first step into a larger world.
But Obi-Wan was old, so perhaps it's a child of his child. And I did manage to uncover something. Back when rumors for Star Wars was coming out, The Hollywood Reporter stated that they were looking for someone to play Obi-Wan's daughter or granddaughter. However, this was when there was a lot of script changes and whatnot, so they were looking for an African-American woman to play his daughter. But this was before they added Finn into the movie. So it's unclear whether or not this was added into the movie that he would have a granddaughter. But The Hollywood Reporter is not a very well-known or authentic news network online. Besides, it was just rumors anyway. But if this is true, and Obi-Wan did have a granddaughter, who would have been the person he boned? I'd put my money on this Jyn Erso chick. In this new movie coming out, Rogue One, this movie takes place in between episodes 3 and 4. So during this time, Obi-Wan would probably be very young still. And Rey seems to look very much like her as well. And since the movie seems to take place on Tatooine at some point, maybe she'll meet Obi-Wan. And as I said in the last theory, solitude is part of Rey's character. And who was alone in the desert? Obi-Wan. I mean, seriously, the pieces just seem to fit together with this one. And if this was true, it would make sense that it would be a Skywalker training a Kenobi to make up for the mistakes of Anakin. And maybe it's Rey's purpose to return the lightsaber to a Skywalker, as Ben failed to do. And this would follow Lucas's vision of Star Wars. Lucas was a strong believer that the Star Wars franchise should rhyme, meaning the mistakes of the last trilogy will be fixed in the next. But of course, I could be wrong with this. I tend to be that a lot. But let me hear what you guys think it is in the comments. Maybe you have something that disproves this theory, or perhaps more evidence that proves it. Maybe we'll get the answers next movie. After all, JJ's pretty good with answering questions.
Alright, JJ, I need to know, what's the deal with the smoke monster?
Fuck. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Also, happy Mother's Day, everyone. Don't forget to thank your mom every day for not leaving you on a desert planet because you had force powers. Seriously, go tell her you're thankful after this video. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay alive, you guys. Bye.
JJ, what does it feel like to be you?
Awesome.
I was once a Jedi Knight, the same as your father.
I wish I'd known.
He was a good friend. Your father wanted you to have this when you were old enough.